If you want to understand space in a simple, clear way without all the confusing jargon, make sure to subscribe, because on this channel, we break down the universe so anyone can understand it. In the last video, we answered a simple question: what is a planet? And today, we're moving one step deeper into space to answer another question that might sound simple, but actually connects to one of the most dramatic events in Earth's history. What is an asteroid? At first glance, an asteroid might seem like nothing more than a rock floating in space. And in some ways, that's true. But these space rocks are actually ancient objects that have been around since the very beginning of our solar system. To understand asteroids, we need to go back again, about 4.6 billion years. Back to a time before planets existed. Our solar system began as a massive cloud of gas and dust. As this cloud collapsed, the sun formed at the center. Around it, particles began sticking together. Tiny grains became pebbles. Pebbles became rocks. Rocks became larger bodies. Some of these grew into planets, but not everything made it that far. Many objects were left behind, too small to become planets, but too large to simply disappear. These leftovers are what we call asteroids. So in a way, asteroids are like fossils of the early solar system. They are pieces of history, preserved in space. Most asteroids are found in a region between Mars and Jupiter called the asteroid belt. This isn't a crowded field like you might imagine from movies. In reality, the asteroids are spread out over vast distances. You could travel through the asteroid belt and never even see one up close, but there are millions of them. Some are tiny, just a few meters across. Others are massive, hundreds of kilometers wide. One of the largest is Ceres. Ceres is so big that it's actually classified as a dwarf planet. So already we can see that asteroids come in many sizes. But size isn't the only thing that varies. Asteroids also differ in composition. Some are made mostly of rock. Others are rich in metals like iron and nickel. And some contain carbon-rich materials that may include the building blocks of life. Scientists often group asteroids into three main types. C-type asteroids are the most common. They are dark and rich in carbon. S-type asteroids are made mostly of silicate rock and metals. M-type asteroids are metallic and contain large amounts of iron. Each type tells us something about the conditions in the early solar system. Now here's something interesting. Not all asteroids stay in the asteroid belt. Some are pulled out of their original orbits. This can happen because of gravitational interactions, especially with a giant planet like Jupiter. When that happens, an asteroid can be sent into the inner solar system. Some of these become what we call near-Earth asteroids. These are asteroids whose paths bring them relatively close to our planet. And yes, this is where things start to get serious. Because if an asteroid crosses Earth's orbit at the wrong time, it could collide with our planet. And that has happened before. About 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid struck Earth. The impact released an enormous amount of energy. It triggered fires, earthquakes, and a massive cloud of dust that blocked sunlight. Plants died,
food chains collapsed, and the dinosaurs went extinct. This event changed the course of life on Earth forever. So when we talk about asteroids, we're not just talking about distant rocks.
We're talking about objects that have the power to reshape an entire planet. That's why scientists carefully track near-Earth objects. Space agencies around the world monitor thousands of asteroids, calculating their paths years, even decades into the future.
So far, there are no known large asteroids on a collision course with Earth. But the search continues, because even a relatively small asteroid could cause serious damage if it hit a populated area. Now, not all asteroids are dangerous. In fact, many scientists see them as opportunities. Asteroids contain valuable resources, metals like platinum, gold, and iron, water locked inside minerals. In the future, humans might mine asteroids to support space exploration. Imagine spacecraft refueling in space using materials extracted from asteroids, or building structures using metals mined beyond Earth. What once seemed like science fiction is slowly becoming a real possibility. Asteroids may also hold clues to one of the biggest questions of all. How did life begin? Some scientists believe that asteroids and comets may have delivered water and organic molecules to early Earth. If that's true, then the building blocks of life may have come from space, which means, in a way, we might be connected to these ancient rocks more than we realize.
Now, let's clear up something important. Asteroids are not the same as meteors or meteorites. An asteroid is an object in space. If a piece of an asteroid enters Earth's atmosphere and burns up, it creates a streak of light called a meteor.
If part of it survives the journey and hits the ground, it's called a meteorite. So the next time you see a shooting star, you're actually seeing a tiny piece of space burning up in the atmosphere. Now, let's imagine something. What would happen if an asteroid were heading toward Earth today? Scientists are already working on ways to prevent that. One method is called kinetic impact. This involves sending a spacecraft to collide with an asteroid, slightly changing its path. Even a tiny change in direction, if done early enough, could cause the asteroid to miss Earth entirely. In fact, this has already been tested. In 2022, NASA's DART mission successfully changed the orbit of a small asteroid.
It was the first time humanity deliberately altered the motion of a celestial object, a small step, but a powerful one. It showed that we are no longer completely helpless against threats from space. We are learning, we are preparing, and we are watching the skies.
So now, when you hear the word asteroid, you know it's not just a random rock. It's a piece of the past, a potential threat, a possible resource, and a key to understanding our origins. The universe is full of these hidden stories, and we're only just beginning to uncover them.
If you want to keep exploring space in a simple, fascinating way, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because in the next episode, we're going to look at something even more visually stunning. What is a comet, and why do they glow with long, beautiful tails as they travel through space?
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. So subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next journey through space.